Okay, so we have Summer here who has been super, super nice to take some time out of her side to give us a little bit of her journey and what she's started off with and where she is now. So we're just going to start off for people watching, like say a sentence or two about yourself to get an idea who Summer is.
Well, Summer was really fat. Summer is just chunky now. Um, Summer has struggled her whole life with a lot of different things. Mostly, I have an addictive personality. So it was always either too much or too little, mostly too much, everything to the extreme. And well, now I got to think about even how old I am. I think I'm 35. I've been home. I've been home for so long. It's hard to remember what the day of the week is or anything or your age. But yeah, I'm 35. I live in Indiana. I've no children or anything like that. I have a stepson, which makes him mine, but because I pay for that. I work full time. I'm basically the primary driver for 3 or 4 households. I work a lot. I do a lot of all the shopping and stuff. I keep track of everybody's passwords, social security numbers, driver's license. I mean, like, there's so much stuff, and I stay like, whew, that's my level, like right there. And it's probably even higher than that, but we'll just go right there. So my whole life, I've just really struggled with relationships. I've struggled with, and especially with myself, obviously, because that's where it starts. I've struggled with drugs. I've struggled with food. I've struggled with everything, alcohol, men, some ladies. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've struggled with a lot of things, just trying to learn how to love myself, like myself, and it's come at a great cost. So.
So we'll start there. Like say just even before, like going back, I think it's around 20, longer than 20 weeks ago. But like say before you seen Ashley, before you seen me, anything, the whole process, everything. What were you actually struggling with before? Like what got you to like prompt out to reach out to actually say, look, I actually can't let this go on any further? What was the main challenge, the main struggle for you at that time?
I mean, even as a child growing up, I was always overweight. And in fact, the only time in my life that I ever lost a significant amount of weight, but it was to a point where, you look sickly, I was an intravenous drug user. So I actually got down to like 110 pounds soaking wet, size probably 3 pants and stuff, extra small shirts, and I got big boobs. And so, I mean, it was sickly looking, and then after I found sobriety, I've been sober for 9 years now, but within the first 2 years of my sobriety is when I met my fiance, Jimmy. And he and I were pretty active when we first got together and everything, because we were living separately and stuff. And then when we moved in together, that's when, and it's the, I hate to even say it because it's kind of like a cliche, but it really is true for a lot of people. And I found that out for myself. Once you get with somebody, you kind of stop caring about yourself, because it's like, oh, I've got that person, they're not going to go anywhere. And it's a bullshit lie. Don't fall for it. Don't do it. And like, if you're stuck there, figure out how to get out of it, because 1 minute you're sitting there and you're comfortable with the way you look. I mean, I was still a little chunky, but I was definitely way smaller than I am now. I was probably about 150 pounds when me and him met. And before I knew it, within a couple of years of me and him being together, I shot up to almost 250 pounds and a size 16, 18 pants. And Jesus. And I, like, if I sit and think about it, I know for sure, like, in my mind how I got there, but like with my heart stuff, I'm like, I just cannot even believe I let myself go to that point. And it was taking on too much at once. And as much as I'm grateful for my sobriety, at the same time, I kind of blame that, because certain tools that I was taught and that I took with me out of that program that I was in was, idle hands do the devil's work. So as long as you're keeping busy, you won't ever have time to think about the drugs. And so for years, that's what I did, to a point that I quit caring about myself. I cared more about family, which to an extent, that's okay, as long as it's not interfering with yourself, because you have to be able to put you first. You have to at least like yourself first. You have to care about yourself, even just like a pinch. Otherwise, everything that you're doing for everybody else, I mean, it's not filling that void, God helps with that too. I don't know how some people feel about that, but I'll just put that out there for myself. But the other part of that void that God doesn't fill for me, I was trying to fill it with doing for others, and just, drove myself batshit crazy. And it turned into like my video that I posted in the Bikini Academy, you know, it turned into convenient food, fast food. It turned into quick and easy meals, like with like Hamburger Helper, you know, pasta and meat and mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese and pop. Like I absolutely love pop. We're getting ready to die. I gotta go plug us in. Oh shit, I gotta find my charger. Maybe Dad's got his. But you know, it like I said, you know, I didn't realize it at first, like how bad it had gotten until one day I couldn't fit into my clothes anymore, and I could see things like on my body and stuff that was way different and everything. It got really fracking depressing, and it got it got to a point.
Ideal. This is somewhere to a T.
Yeah, this is summer right here. So now you can understand a little bit. This is what we do. So but I mean, yeah, it just got to a point, like I said, I didn't see it at first. It wasn't until after I got with you guys and I was actually able to stop and think about things, like, because I had to start watching my nutrition and stuff, you know, and I started and tracking it. Oh my God, the tracking is where I was like I knew the shit was bad for me. Like I knew fast food was not great, but I thought if I'm only eating fast food once a day, but I'm making it count because I'm getting the large fry, you know, and the bigger burger. But man, I had no idea. Like I didn't know to that depth. So what I was really struggling with, there were a couple of things. Not only was it my nutrition, because I came into this with, I don't know about some of you ladies, but I know like for me, you research so much stuff and you tried so many freaking diets, and some of them worked for a short time and then you gained everything back plus some, and some of them didn't work at all. And it's like your head's like out to here because there's so much in there and you don't know how to differentiate between what's what, like what am I supposed to be doing? So and it was funny because and I've tried personal trainers and I've been let down by them, like literally walking out of the gym early because I was just like, I can't feel this. Like, this is not, I can't feel it. They offered no nutritional advice. Like, it was a same guideline for every person, whether you were male or female, you know? And so, and I've spent bukus of money, like bukus, trying to get to that point where I really want to be. And I just was like, screw it. And I was sitting there one night and I was scrolling through my Facebook, and that's when I seen Ashley Crooks. And something just like was like, check it out, see what he says.
And then like, yeah, then you reached out obviously from there. So what was actually I suppose what prompted you to reach out? Like, what was your own reasonable reason why of like, I actually don't want this to go any further? Like, I'm sick of it. What was the reason why for you particularly? Maybe there was a few.
My relationship with he's technically my fiance. I think that's a whole other story in itself. You and I have talked about that, but we'll call him my fiance today. We'll be nice. So our relationship has suffered a great deal, and I know some of it's on him, but I know a lot of it too has to do with me and my body image and my self-confidence and the lack thereof. And I'm at a job where they've asked me several times to step up and be the manager, the warehouse manager. And I'm like, man, you know, I work for Japanese people. They are very big on body image because they are a tiny people until they come to America, and then they get fat people. So, but, you know, I couldn't see myself. I did not want to be the fat face of my company. You know what I mean? And then, and not to mention, like I said, you know, when Jimmy and I first got together, we were out mud bogging, four-wheeling, hanging out with people, going out to eat. I mean, we're not drinkers or anything like that, you know, but he was very social. I'm social once I warm up, you know? So, I mean, there's just so much that in a wedding, like there's been so much that I have missed out on because I cannot stand to look at myself, or I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror. And I'm 35 years old, and I'm like literally letting life just run me down. And that's when I seen the Ashley Crooks Fitness, and I thought, you know what? And I was reading through it and studying it and stuff. And I even tried to YouTube him and stuff to see if I could find anything on him. Unfortunately, he didn't have a whole lot there, but he's super good looking, you know? So who doesn't want a piece of that? And I'll watch that all day. Don't tell my fiance that though. So, but just the science behind it. And like when I look for diet programs or nutritional help and things like that. One thing that I do look at the most is ladies that have been my size or bigger, or ladies even that are like 40 and older, because that is the hardest to lose weight, is when you're 40 and older, and even sometimes in your 30s. It just depends on your body and how your genes work. But, and also ladies that have been my size or bigger. The last thing I want to see is a gal that was like a toothpick to start with, and except for like in Ashley Crook's fitness case, I will say this: toothpick to start with, but then she builds something like how you guys build it. Like, it's amazing. But I don't want to see, like, on these commercials, like for Nutrisystem and stuff, you're already a freaking toothpick and then you're trying to sell Nutrisystem to me. Like, I'm not pumped. Even though I tried it just to see, but I'm not pumped about it, So that's when I reached out to Ashley Kurtz Fitness and decided to go ahead and do the call with him, see what it was all about.
And then, so you had your call, then obviously have jumped on board, done your whole coaching up to this point anyways.
It took a little bit, but yeah.
A bit of a kick.
Yeah. Well, Ashley and mine's conversation, and this is another thing, like, ladies that are sitting on the fence. I know for me, because I don't make a lot of money, and I've heard from several ladies that money is a big factor here. But after Ashley told me the cost, I shat myself. I got off the phone and I was like, Ashley, I'm gonna have to think about this, bub. I was like, I don't know. That's a lot of money to come up with right now. And he was like, well, just give me a down payment. Like, I started feeling a little bit of pressure, but not in like a bad way, not like a bad salesman though. Like, there was a little bit of pressure there, but at the same time, looking back at it, I know it was because he, like, genuinely cared. Like, he heard my story, he'd seen my photos and stuff, and he really wanted to give me that opportunity. So when I sat there and thought about it, I was like, you know what? I work my ass off, literally. And if all I need is like 3 months to jump in and a couple $1,000s, fuck it. My credit is in good enough shape. I make enough money where I can do this. And I got right on the phone. I signed up with a lender, called Ashley up, and I was like, look, dude, come get your money. I want in. So, so I said, you have to really weigh it out. Is money worth your life and your happiness? It's not. Money can be made every day, by the minute, by the hour, and that's where I sat there and I thought about it, with all the workout programs and nutritional, like Nutrisystem and keto and all that kind of stuff, with all the money that I've already spent and lost and couldn't get back and didn't gain anything from it. What's the worst that can happen here? It won't be any different than the rest. So why not try?
And then obviously you jumped on board, met me. We've been coaching for 16 or so weeks now. Like, just in that time frame, then, like from what you just spoke about there, with what you're struggling with, what you've gone through, where you are, what's changed just in like that time frame for you, just overall to start with. And then if I want to touch on anything, I will.
For sure, right off the bat, like I said, I really liked that. Because at first I kept like telling Ashley, I was like, well, I just need you to tell me what to put in my mouth. And he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you what to put in your mouth. And I was like, what the fuck am I paying you for? I need somebody to tell me what to put in there, because I don't know what's right and what's wrong. Because like I said, so much information, so much research, so many people telling you the different fucking things to do, and none of it's been right. So the biggest thing that I truly loved about this program was, you download MyFitnessPal. You have someone like Sarah, who everybody needs a Sarah in their corner. I'm telling you, when you go to the gym and you hear that accent and she's telling you how savage you are, it will make you turn that treadmill up or lift up those weights, even faster and harder. So, but the whole thing with the MyFitnessPal and just tracking for like the first week to see like what you're doing, and then sending that over to you, and you're like, holy fuck, but you don't say it. And I'm saying it to myself while you're reading it and saying it to yourself, and then you just help us plug in with like the, with the fat and the proteins and the carbs. And that's it. It was so simple that I, like, within the first couple of weeks, I'm going to say probably a month, I would say 3 or 4 weeks at looking at that day after day after day and trying to tweak things around and just really paying attention to my scale and like what all my labels and stuff said and everything. It was like, oh, why doesn't anybody else understand? Like, why? It was so simple. And like, I've struggled my whole life, and it's right there. And people like Ashley Crooks and Sarah Maloney, they're here to help figure that out. That was my biggest thing. And especially now, like with this coronavirus and stuff, like I said, and then I have possible tests coming up where we'll find out if I have cancer or not. So that put me out for weight training and stuff, which was really depressing. But just the nutritional part, even in these 3 weeks of being quarantined and stuff, my weight, even though I've gained 4 pounds, between 4 to 6 pounds, it's going up and down in 3 weeks. Girls, I could have gained 50 pounds in the last 3 weeks because I had just been sitting on my bum playing on Facebook and eating. And I have a different mindset. I look at food differently. Like, it's not my enemy anymore. And if I want, just like I was telling Sarah just a little bit ago, in the last 3 weeks of being home, it's just been me and the old man, and trying to come up with meals and things, that are good in our proteins and stuff like that, but also like mindful to where we don't have to be running out to the grocery store every other day like used to. And so we've had like 2 veg out nights where I was just like, and I'm just going to say it, let's get naked, hang out in the bed, watch the movies, and just veg out. And I don't feel bad about it because you know what? It's not, you don't make it up. You've got a whole week. You have a whole week worth of packing it full of your calories in the right way. So I'm super pumped because the old me would not be sitting here today only gaining 4 to 6 pounds with no weight training and being mindful nutrition. That's my biggest thing, nutrition.
And say, like, because I know, like, we've had a good couple of wins across the time for which, particularly things like your coat, your clothes. So just like in general, like, just in terms of, like, the nutrition side of things, you've gotten a lot of understanding around that. You're able to now implement it mindfully without having to like solely rely on tracking X, Y, Z. Obviously, the training side of things are doing super, super well until we've had to just put a bit of a hold on it, but just a hold on it. So even just like the body confidence side of things, because that's obviously something that prompted you to say, like, look, I need to give something back to myself. Like, what's changed in that time frame for you?
The changes in my body, like, I had no idea. Like, I was sitting there in the beginning, like, bugging you. I was like, man, I'm ready for some ab exercises. I'm ready for some ab exercises. And then when I started seeing my photos, and then I started watching, like, Miss Laura Lamb there, she was talking about how, and all you girls, actually, it was funny because, like, I think even on your Instagram, I was seeing something along the lines there, like, somebody mentioned, somebody asked them, like, how many ab exercises do you do a day or whatever? And they're like, I don't do ab exercises. I do deadlifts. And then seeing my before and my after, like, I had no idea a person's body could, I mean, not even just with deadlifting, but my arms, my chest, my tummy, my legs. I have a gap between my legs. Do you know how long it's been since I've had a gap between my legs where that fat wasn't rubbing in between and burning holes in my brand new jeans? The transformation on my body with the weight training and stuff, like I said, I had no idea. And it was so awesome too, because like, if I got up in the morning, was able to pump out like 20 or 30 minutes worth of weights, I was like energized for the day. And vice versa, if I come home and I did it of the evening, I was ready to slip right into bed and I was done. Like, I didn't need to scroll through my Facebook or check all my accounts and do all this shit. Like, I could set that time aside. I could pump my weights and come in here and just, which is nice for somebody like me, because if you haven't been able to tell yet, I do have ADD, and I'm like, that's my level. But I mean, I've got my photos in the Bikini Academy. So like I said, I mean, you can see it for yourself. It's real. Like, and if you want next time, because I'm coming back with a vengeance after I get through my surgery, I'm going to be putting this face in those photos so I can prove that it's me.
And if they just even things you've done in the past, so you've obviously done like PT, you've done like loads of random diets, all the rest. I presume like this is the first time you've done like a kind of an online side of things where, like, I'm in Ireland,
Yes.
you're all the way over there. What was the experience
Yes.
from, like, because obviously that would probably be one of the nerve-wracking things for a lot of people, like, how could you help someone online? What was your experience overall from, like, just even what you've done before, PTs, shakes, whatever it was?
I liked it. I like this online experience a little. Now, don't get me wrong. If I ever get the opportunity to come to Ireland and pump iron with you, I'm down. But at the same time, like, I feel like it took a lot of the fear out of me, because like, I can go in, I already know what I got to go in and do. Like, I don't have to do a bunch of, because like right now, I know I sound like I probably talk a lot, but I'm really not a talkative person. So I know what I need to do. I can get in the gym or even at my home gym, and I can just get the shit done. I can do short videos if I'm not sure if I'm doing it correctly or whatever, shoot it over to you. I feel like online is better just because I don't know. I can't really think of a better way to put it other than we're not necessarily interfering with each other, because I know you've got loads of other clients and I've got loads of other shit to do. So if we can hit each other up as needed, I like the online experience better because everything's right there at your fingertips. It's much quicker. And if I do need you, all I gotta do is hit you up. You hit me back up as soon as possible. I mean, it just works. It works really well.
Absolutely awesome. And then say if someone is like watching this video, maybe struggled for as long as you did before this, tried loads of different shit basically, and are looking at this video and like, I've been struggling this all my life, like what's the point trying again? Like what would you say to someone who is sitting maybe on the fence, thinking about maybe don't want to invest in themselves or XYZ?
Well, I mean, and I was sitting right there. So, what's the point in trying again? What's the point in not trying again? I mean, what's the worst? The worst that can happen is that you lose a little bit of money and you don't lose any weight or see any results. But that's your own fault. You have to apply yourself, and there's no amount of Nutrisystem, no amount of fracking cardio. Because like right before I found Ashley Crooks, I had signed up with a dietitian through my insurance program, and that girl put me on, what was it, 1,200 calorie a day fucking deficit, and told me to move more, like treadmill or elliptical. And I was like, that's fine. I'll go home and do that. But I know at the end of the day, but in the next 3 months, all I'm going to be left with is a lot of flabby fucking skin that I'm going to have to pay another doctor to cut off. I want the results. I see other people doing it. I want to know how to fucking get there. And I happened upon Ashley Crooks Fitness. And I love, for one, that it's a man that actually, and not in a weird way, has taken interest in ladies and helping ladies, you know what I mean? Because he knows how we struggle. He knows that women are different than men. Like a man can just go in there and pump. He can quit thinking about drinking a Coke and he loses 20 fucking pounds. I smell a Coke and I gain 20 fucking pounds. So for me, I was sitting in the same spot, and it's like, God, that's a lot of money. But aren't you sick? I literally had like the bad guy and the good guy. Like, that's a lot of fucking money. How are you going to do it? Yeah, but you're fucking worth it. You just need to jump in. It feels right. This is the right thing to do. You've seen the photos. You've been watching the videos. Just fucking do it. Yeah, but that's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of money, but here's the thing. You're going to learn so much in a short 3-month period that you're going to use for the rest of your life, even if it means paying on a loan for a couple of years, or just if you've got that extra cash sitting in your account because stimulus checks just came in, pay it to Ashley Crooks Fitness, because now is the time to do it. You're sitting at home with nothing better to do with your life. You've got $1,200 worth of stimulus checks sitting in your account. Put it towards yourself, not toilet paper. Do it for yourself. I mean, you're not only going to learn about nutrition and what's right for you, because you're going to be teaching yourself with just a few guidelines from Sarah or Laura or any of the other coaches that are in the program. You're going to learn simple guidelines for yourself, but you're also teaching yourself by paying attention to what you're putting in, how your body responds. You're also going to learn strength training, but mostly like in a way tailored to you, because you're not just going to walk in and start pumping 1,000 fucking pounds deadlift. You know what I mean? Everything is a progress. And not even besides that, but there are so many other tools, like with Raj and stuff, and his keeping things calm and just stepping outside the moment so that you can breathe. Laura's time management techniques. Sarah is just absolutely savage. Like, if I could have a girlfriend like that over here, I would never leave her side. She's so inspirational. Like, just hearing her voice, it can make me cry sometimes. Like, it's really awesome to have people like this out here to that care about other people. Don't continue to sit on that fence. It's so cheap. Like, you're not even gonna, you could spend so much more money on these other stupid programs and not see what you want and be stuck with flabby skin and everything. Like I said, the results I've seen in my body in just a few short weeks, including through Christmas, I was blown away. Like, don't let money stand in the way of you taking care of yourself and being happy with yourself, to get that promotion, to get that relationship, to have that wedding, to make friends, to be out and be social once we're outside of this coronavirus BS. You know what I mean? And if you got stimulus money sitting in your account, I know you ain't going to be burning it on nothing better because you're just sitting at home. Why not put it to yourself? I would. It's simple. It's fucking simple.
Absolutely savage. Have you got anything before you hop off? Have you got any last comments that you want to add to it? Anything else? Or you're like,
I mean, like it's the only thing I can say, you know, is why not you? I want you to stop, and if you can stand to stomach yourself in the mirror for 5 seconds, you just look at yourself and you say, why not you? Go ahead and take those photos. Comparing to some of the other ladies in there, like I said, for me, I always looked for ladies that were older or my size or bigger. And you're going to find that in the Ashley Crooks fitness program, and you're going to see the results that these girls are having, even right now during quarantine and stuff. It's absolutely fucking amazing. Like, you're going to learn so much more with Ashley Crooks Fitness besides losing weight. Because, I mean, it's not what it's all about. It's not just losing weight. It's just like I told Ashley, too. He's like, you know, what weight do you want to be? And I said, well, Ashley, I don't know what the number is. I know what I want my body to look like, but I don't know what that number is on the scale. That number on the scale don't mean shit. It's the numbers on your tape measure. It's the numbers in your pants. It's how you feel about yourself. It's how your body feels on the inside, you know, and you're going to learn all of that with Ashley Crooks Fitness. And it's totally worth it, regardless if you're able to pay it all up front or it takes you a couple years to do it. Don't hesitate. Just jump in.
Sweet.
And I love Sarah.
Well, we'll leave it there then. That's a good way to end it. Right, you can wave bye on this for those watching.